Hi, well, we're in day 3 of our lockdown in South Africa. And what I'm going to do for you while you're sitting at home wondering what to do and missing the racing the same as I am, I'm going to give you an idea of how to study the trainers instead of studying the horses to get some results that's, you're going to find winners that you would never have found if you hadn't had this insight. Now, trainers, they're as human beings as they are, they follow habits. They've got their rituals, they follow habits, and once they found a winning formula, they'll repeat it. So what our job is to look at the different races over the period of 200 or 300 races that they've done. And look at them to see if there's a pattern on how they train their horses, and see whether or not there's a pattern of whether they use particular jockeys at particular times, or whether they've got a favourite distance. Perhaps they're better at training over a short distance or a long distance. You'll see, for instance, with Jacques Stradum in Port Elizabeth, he likes training horses for the long distances, the 2,000, 2,400, 3,000 long distances. And if you looked at his charts, you'll see that he's got a huge preference for training winners there. Other trainers, they like to do the short distances perhaps. So you'll see that they only get the winners over 1,000 or 1,200. Or they might prefer a particular track. So you find that when they do, they're raiding other places, particularly perhaps Flamingo Park, that the dropping class there, they'll get some winners that they might not have had otherwise. Right? This is the sort of thing I'll be looking for. But firstly, let's have a look at to find out how we find which trainers pick particular jockeys when their horses are ready to win. Now I'm going to go initially, I'm going to do a series of these, and perhaps in the comments you can tell me which trainers perhaps you might be interested in me doing a research for them. And we can take from there. I'm going to start off with Corne Spies, because that's the trainer that I know quite well. I know him personally, and he does send me selections when he thinks his horses are going to win. But with a careful analysis, I can actually whittle down his selections that he sends me to actually much more targeted selections on the day, because he does tend to mention nearly all his horses. And you've got to remember that when trainers give their selections to their clients, they also have to send it to the owners. Now, a trainer can't say to an owner, your horse has got no chance, because what would happen then is the owner would think, well, I'll take it, my horse, to a trainer that has got some chance. So they'll always say something nice about the horse. For instance, they might say, oh, it just needs this run, or getting ready for the big one, or it's a good place chance, or things like that. But in real terms, what they're talking about is that the horse is perhaps not quite ready yet, and studying the statistics, we'll be able to pinpoint that. So let's have a look at Corne Spies. Well, first of all, we see that he has got 322 records I've got so far since last October. And I'm just going to select his winners to start with to see how many winners he's had. And if we look down here, I can see he's had 39 winners of 321. So who's he used for? Who's his favourite jockey? Let's see the highest percentage here. So we'll click on the jockey, and we can see that he's had all these jockeys have ridden winners for him. So let's have a look at the top one, shall we say, to start with, Craig Zaki. So I'll just choose Craig Zaki. Let's have a look at him. And I see that he has had 10 winners. He's had 10 winners from the 321. But I will also want to know, to get the percentage, I want to know how many of those winners, or how many losers he's had. So let's just have a look here. We go back to the finish, and we see he's had lots of rides. So let's just take all of those. So we know he's had 10. We click on this, and we see it's 10 out of 72. Well, that's not a very exciting. It's okay, but it's not as though it's a especially good pick. So let's have a look at another one. I'll go back to just the winners, Let's find another jockey. Let's have a look at Anton Marcos, for instance. Let's see how many winners Anton's had. He said 1 winner, and let's have a look how many rides. So 1 winner from, excuse me, just put it here again, 1 winner from 2. So he's only engaged Anton twice. He's came 4th in once, and he's come 1st on the other. The captain's fought. Let's find another jockey. So let's go to all the jockeys again. And that's all the finishers. Back to the winners. And let's choose another one here. Let's have Mr. Kennedy, Warren Kennedy. So, how many winners has Kennedy written? How important is it? Warren Kennedy, I look down here, and I see that Warren Kennedy has had 4 winners. Now to see how many he's written, I'll have a look here. Oh, that's not that many. Let's have a look. So it's 4 winners from 6. Now that's a nice opener for us, isn't it? So he's only had 6 rides. He's only had 6 rides for Corne Spies, and he's won on 4 of them. He's come 2nd on 1, and he came last, but the locator 14th in the last. So Warren Kennedy, what we can do here, we can highlight him, so make it easier. We'll just give him a nice yellow colour, and we'll highlight him for all 6 rides. Okay, let's go on to find another jockey. So we'll take one off, and let's have a look at, oh, I like the Seister. Well, I know, like Geoffrey Seister, one of my favourite jockeys as he's building up his career. Let's have a look how many Cornes, how often he's used him. So Corne has used Seister 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, and I can see that he's won 3 of them. So just show you how to do the 3. So Seister, he's won 3 out of 6. He's got a 50% win rate. Now this is the interesting part. 13-2 winner, a 40-1 winner, and an 11-4 winner. So that's how you can find long price winners. So there we go. Let's have another look at another jockey. I'll just highlight him as well while I'm here. So we know now that Seister. This is how you'd find the jockeys. So I'll do a 3rd one for you. Who should we pick now? Let's have a look at, let's take one at random here. Matthew Thackeray. And we see that Matthew has ridden 38 times. And let me see how many winners he's had. 38 times, he had 4 winners and 38, so he's on a 10%. So that's not bad. Let's look at the odds. 10%, 16-1, 66-1. Yep, that's good enough for me. So, at 10%, we know that it's a good chance that we'll get a good ride from Matthew. Let's see how many seconds he's got while we're here. Let's take it for the first 3. And there we are. He's at 9 altogether. 9 first, 2nd, and 3rds. So Matthew would be a good one. Now let's just, for instance, go to another file, and let's sort of see from all the winners that Corne has had. Let's have a look to see where he gets the highest percentage of winners, where he gets them. So we go to the venue. I'll have a look here at the venue, and I can see that he's had runners at Flamingo Park, Kenilworth, Scottsville, Turffontein, and the Val. Well, we know he had some winners recently at Flamingo Park, but let's see if he's had more over time now as well. Let's see what his record is like there. So we'll just open up to Flamingo Park, and we'll see at Flamingo Park. If we look in the corner here, we'll see he's had 38 runners at Flamingo Park. Now we'd like to know how many winners out of those 38 runners. How many winners has he had? So we click on there. We go click on the 1. And open it up, and look at that. He's at 11 winners out of 30. He's at 33% of his horses have won at, when he's taken there, 33% of them have won. That's amazing. Let's have a look at the prices here. 13-2, 17-4, 13-2 again. When you see 1 Mar, that basically means it's the 1st of March. The algorithm has turned the number into thinking it's a date. but in actual fact March being the 3rd month, and then one Ma means it's a 3 to 1. Right? So it's gone from 4 to 1 to 3 to 1. That's when you see that in your selection sometimes. So that is fabulous. So we know now, I know now how to pick up which meeting it is, which jockey does it, and if we like, we can now, let's just have an interest, let's see how Mr. Spies, let's see what he's like over a distance. So we'll take these again, let's take all the winners again. Let's take all the jockeys there. So this time, there's all his winners. Do number 1. Now I want to see, let's see, if out of all of these winners he's had, oh, hang on, I'm still on Flamingo Park. Let's unleash that one. So out of his 39 winners, we know that he's got a high percentage, 33% at Flamingo Park. Let's see how many, let's see what he's like at a long distance. Let's have a look at the distance now. Let's see what distance he's won over. And he's won over nearly all the distances. But let's just have a look at, let's see what he's like over 2,000 and 2,400 only. So I'll get rid of all these, and I'll just do those. Click on those. These are 3 winners over that distance, out of, let's look how many. 3 winners out of 15. So obviously that's not his best distance. 3 winners out of 15. This is the principle of how I'm studying the trainers. So from that I know now which jockeys that I'm going to use. I know 2 or 3 of the jockeys that I'm going to use when Corne does his selections, his runners. And I can look on the day, I can actually look and do an in-depth one of all his rides. So with a training sheet like this, you are able to whittle down and find out what the trainer's up to. You can look at any of these filters and you'll know what the trainer's up to and whether or not you've got what I'm calling the trainer's intent to win. I believe that looking at this, you can see a much higher intent to win over certain things, like when he uses a certain jockey and when he goes to Flamingo Park and is over shorter distances. So if you enjoy this, make a comment below. Give me some ideas, if you like, for what else you'd like to see. And if you're interested in obtaining the complete sheet of the database, a complete Excel database of Corne or any other trainer, drop me a line and I'll work out a small fee so I can download and save it and send it to you. Okay, thanks for watching, and please don't forget to make a nice comment. Bye-bye.